members. Dickinson State ranked 18th. They played one Frontier Conference team this year. They lost to Rocky in the season opening game 20-19, and there's been some talk that, well, maybe the remainder of the Northern Star teams will join the Frontier. We've offered them a lifeline.
Well, it'll be good to get them in. Dickinson State will be good to get them in the conference. I don't think Dickinson State will be super happy about that, just because they've struggled. When they were in the Frontier Conference, they did struggle there for a few years. They beat Northern a couple times, but other than that, I don't believe they beat anybody in the league. So the one team that doesn't want the North Star to fold is certainly Dickinson State.
The MSU-Northern will have their white uniforms on, maroon numbers, maroon helmets, and the Bulldogs of Montana Western, the 13th ranked team in the nation, in their home black uniforms with red numbers. Rocky Erickson with Phil Willett on a cool Saturday afternoon in Dillon, Montana. The SWX Game of the Week. The Bulldogs of Montana Western at home up against the Lights of MSU-Northern. Short kick. It'll be fielded on the 22-yard line. And the return going backwards to the 20, to the 25, the 30, finally brought down. And that Montana Western offense has been spectacular this season. They lead the conference, averaging more than 200 yards a game on the ground. How about 460 yards in total offense? That is fourth best in the nation. This is an offense that averages 35 points a game. Phil, almost unstoppable.
Well, when you talk about a team that averages that much rushing the football per game, generally they have a bell cow running back. There's 4 guys for the Bulldogs that average more than 50 yards per game on the ground. That's unbelievable balance.
And they go on the ground on the first play. That's Humphrey. Humphrey averages 5 yards a carry. Well, as a team, they average 5.6 yards a carry, which is very impressive, and that's a gain of 5.
Yeah, and 15 touchdowns on the ground for the Bulldogs this year, over 2 rushing touchdowns per contest, so expect them to do that. But Michael Polandri can throw the football as well, and I talked to Coach Norris on the field before the game. He said, we might throw the ball to open this contest up and see if we can get a lead right off the bat.
Polandri's completed 64% of his passes. His first pass to Norse. Eli Norse, the true freshman, unable to avoid the tackle as Klein in on the tackle from Big Sandy, Montana. The leading defensive player for MSU-Northern, Dylan Wampler, leads the team with 52 tackles, one of my favorite Frontier Conference players. And on that pass completion, they're going to lose a yard. That is his 60th reception this year for Eli Norris. He has scored a touchdown in every game he's ever played at the college level.
Yeah, quite a start to his career, no doubt. 9 touchdowns already in this season for the true freshman from Dillon.
The lone setback is a quarterback airs it out incomplete, and the Bulldogs will go 3 and out, and Montana MSU-Northern will have the football for the first time in the game. Isaiah Rose will go back.
Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan Association, the only
The white numbers of Northern might be difficult, or the white jerseys with the numbers might be difficult to read by the end of this contest.
And Rose will not bring it back. They've used several different quarterbacks for the Lights this season. MSU-Northern starting quarterback for this game will be Ashton Platt. Ashton Platt is a true freshman out of Great Falls High, a 6-foot, 175-pound freshman quarterback. On the season, he's put the ball up 53 times, completing 38%, just 92 yards through the air. But this is a team that has struggled mightily offensively. They average just 40 yards a game rushing. That is 93rd of 94 NAIA teams in the entire nation. Platt is out of the shotgun, and Dion with the carry, and Dion for maybe a yard, and Montana Western giving up just 95 yards a game.
Well, late flag there. Well, there's flags everywhere now. I don't know if they're calling a late hit. They threw Dion after he got stacked up, got kind of tossed down later. We'll see what the penalty is. It's a personal foul on the Bulldogs. So, well, if you're Northern, you couldn't start it any better. 3 and out on defense. You're going to get a first down right off the bat on offense with a Bulldog personal foul.
You know, Montana Western, they have a huge game next week at Carroll College. They don't want to overlook the lights this afternoon.
Well, no, and that's easy to do, certainly, when you're expected to win, by a lot. But it's easy to get into that territory of, we have a huge game. Certainly it's basically a playoff game next weekend in Helena.
Thomas will come into motion. First down for MSU-Northern, and more laundry on the field. The last MSU-Northern game that we did was MSU-Northern Eastern Oregon, and they had 26 combined penalties in that game.
Please, let's not have that today. We're off to that pace, though, right now. 2 so far in 4 plays.
False start. Woldstead with 10 catches and 68 yards will come into motion. 3 pass catchers are set to go out. First down and 15. And they go on the ground again to Dion. Dion's going backwards, and Dion will be pushed out.
Yeah, Dion's going to lose 5, maybe 6 yards. A host of Bulldogs there. Looked like number 90 for the Bulldogs led the charge right out of the gates there. That would be the Reese Arts, the multi-year starter for the Bulldogs. One of the captains here and having a great season there is Reese Arts. Bulldogs will be out without the services of interior lineman Tanner Harrell today with concussion. Sounds like I talked to Tanner before the game. Sounds like he's going to be ready to go for the Carroll College game next weekend. He's hoping for, so he's had a tremendous season as well.
School record with 38 tackles for a loss.
Yeah, he's been tremendous.
Second down and 19. Pass is caught by Woldstead, and no gain at all as he is stopped dead in his tracks.
Aiden Prado coming up from the safety and making a nice tackle there on the edge. Losing yards again on that completion.
It's going to be third down and long. Third down and 20 for MSU-Northern. They got a first down off a penalty, their first possession of the afternoon. No score. 13-16 left to be played. This is quarter number 1. Running back slips in the backfield. Dion, that could be a free football.
Yeah, I think that's a fumble.
They're going to say it's an incomplete pass, but if we watched it on the replay, I think he threw that behind.
I do too. I think that was a lateral. We'll see if we're not going to be able to tell from that angle, certainly.
Boy, it looks like a lateral.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know if anybody actually recovered it. Bulldogs had a chance to run it all the way in, but it didn't pick it up. Back deep for the Bulldogs, Isaiah Thomas standing at his own 25.
So Montana Western's going to get the ball back for the second time in this game. 11:22 left to be played in a scoreless first quarter. And the punt is clear. And Thomas from the 27, unable to field it. Thomas picks it up, immediately brought down, and nice pursuit on the part of the Lions. That's Austin Robinson out of Kalispell, Montana.
Oh, great punt there.
No score early in the first here in Dillon.
Pioneer Federal.
Norris wide open here on this sideline. Eli coming off 10 catches last weekend down in Arizona Christian, over 100 yards again.
Well, he averages 110, second best in the nation. I asked his dad, the head coach, I said, are you surprised by the success he's had? He said, actually, he was. And Humphrey on the carry, short carry for about 3 yards.
Yeah, of course, nobody's more humble than a coach is having with his coach's son. But, yeah, I think I talked to Coach Norris last year when Eli was a senior playing for the Beavers, and after he just had signed, I said, "What do you think?" He goes, "I think he's going to be pretty good." And he's my son, but I think he's going to be pretty good. I think he was right.
Well, that's kind of an understatement. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Palandri completing 64% of his passes on the season, 2 for 4 on the afternoon here. And Palandri targeting Norse again, and Norse unable to make the catch. And 4th down again, in this MSU Northern defense looking good early on.
Well, that was a good throw that time by Palandri. That's one Eli Norris wants back. Went through his hands there on the near sideline, kind of flooding this side, rolling out, flooding this side, flooding the coverage there on layered routes.
Rose is back on the punt. Second time the Bulldogs had to punt here in the first. Here comes Wampler on the block, and Rose calls for the fair catch at the 30-yard line. The lights of MSU Northern on the field, and we've got Laundry on the field. No score here in Dillon. The lights of MSU Northern back on the field offensively, averaging just 7 points a game this season. They scored 2 touchdowns, won 14-0 in week 1. High snap. Platt able to handle it, hand off to Dion, and Dion goes nowhere.
Yeah, brought down there from the inside by a host of Bulldogs. There, it looks like number 92 led the charge for the Bulldogs. Luia.
Dion averaging 2 yards a carry this year. The team's leading rusher with 260 yards this season. He's a 6', 219 sophomore out of Havre. Second down and 10.
Put that in perspective, Bulldogs have 4 running backs with more yards rushing than that.
Platt, handoff Dion, caught from behind, and Dion goes down for a loss. Ulrichs with the tackle.
In the backfield again is this front 4 for the Bulldogs. So far, Mason Dion, negative yards rushing here in this first quarter. So I think Platt's going to have to, for Northern to move the football, try to move the football, Platt's going to have to throw the ball. Apparently, it's pretty apparent they're not going to be able to run the football with any consistency here in this ballgame.
The key for Platt is will he have time to throw? Platt 1 for 2, minus 2 yards, 3 pass catchers. To the right side on 3rd down and long. Platt airs it out. Pass is caught for a very short game. Jeremiah Benson, the tight end out of Wolf Point, makes the catch. They needed 13. They got 4.
Good play there by A.J. Ulrichs for redshirt freshman from Billings Central. There you go. You talked about Billings Central. A.J. Ulrich right there making a nice play on the perimeter. After the catch, nowhere to go, and Ulrich makes sure no first down for the Lights offense.
And Isaiah Thomas is back. Hunchak. Nicholas Hunchak to punt for the Lights.
Not the Isaiah Thomas that played for Detroit Pistons.
No. Nice spiral kick. And Thomas back to the 10. The 5 picks it up on the 3-yard line. And Isaiah Thomas on the return. What a punt. And the Bulldogs are back inside the 10-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, 68-yard punt by the time Thomas picked it up there on the 2.
We'll be back with more No Score here in the first. Nicholas Hunchak with a great punt for the Lights. And that puts the Bulldogs back on the 6-yard line to start their 3rd drive of the afternoon in a scoreless game. We're midway through quarter number 1 here at Vigilante Stadium. Montana Western ranked 13th in the nation. And they're going to keep it on the ground for a short game.
Like Pete Gibson with his first carry of the ball game for the Bulldogs.
Pete Gibson, wow. He's averaging 7.6 yards a carry on the season. And he's another one of those Dillon products, a 5'8", 175-pound senior. So it's going to be 2nd down and 8. Palandri's 2 of 5 through the air, 15 yards on the afternoon. Now the Bulldogs offense has struggled just a bit here in this opening quarter. Palandri back on the goal line, and Palandri flushed out. He'll run the 5, caught from behind, down at the 10-yard line. And now it's going to be 3rd down and long coming up.
Klein again on that play for the Lights, and lucky Palandri here. He didn't see Klein behind him. Lucky he didn't fumble this. You'll see on the replay. He thought he had green grass in front of him and
switched hands just at the last second.
Yeah. Otherwise, that could have been a turnover right inside their own 10-yard line for the Bulldogs. And Klein's been all over the place so far for the Lights defense here in this first quarter.
And look where number 7 is, Eli Norris. He's in the middle. Wide receiver left side. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. This drive started on the 6-yard line. Palandri right over the middle. His receiver was wide open, and he could not hit him, and then penalty flags.
That's going to be targeting on number 8 there for the Lights, I would suspect. Very late and very right to the head. Smells her from power. I would expect that to be an ejection. That looked like the prototype targeting.
See if we can see it on the replay, see if it was helmet to helmet. Oof, he's gone.
Yeah, that should be a no-doubter.
Yeah, Brady Smelter, 6'2", 173-pound sophomore from Power. And we'll get the call here from the White Hat.
They're not going to call targeting. They just called a personal foul. We should maybe take this small screen we have up there and down there and show them that one, because that was the targeting.
And that's going to be a first down for the Bulldogs.
It was certainly way late. That's what they get the penalty for, but that was also a targeting there by Smelser. Leading with your head.
Line of scrimmage, the 26-yard line, and the lines on the field are almost invisible after a rather snowy week here in Dillon. Eli Norris will come in motion. Palandri on the handoff. That's going to be Gibson, and Gibson gets across the 30-yard line.
Again, Klein in on the tackle there for Northern, but Gibson using that low center of gravity, pulling him forward, picks up 5. It looks like they're on first down. We might see a little bit more running here with Coach Norris. Right now it seems like Palandri's just a bit off on his throws. That last one where they had the personal foul, that was a wide open Isaiah Thomas, and Palandri just missed him.
Gibson's went over 100 yards twice on this season, and that pass is going to be complete by making the catch as Kirkley. It's going to be enough for a first down. So the Bulldogs, whose drive started on the 6-yard line, moving the football.
Well, as soon as I said something about Palandri being a little off, he throws an excellent throw here on the quick out, and a nice catch there by Kirkley, but that was good coverage there by Rose on the near side.
Kirkley with 21 catches on the season. Palandri now 3 of 7 through the air, 23 yards in the game. 3 pass catchers up on top here for the Bulldogs. 6-1 on the year. Play fake again. Palandri's got time. Going to air it out deep to Norris. Norris, what a catch! Near the 20-yard line. Unbelievable. The true freshman, the hometown hero from Dillon, coming up big.
Well, and credit those front 5 here. Good blocking up front. Palandri all day to throw. You see a little play action there, kind of a token play action, but a nice pocket there for Palandri to step up into and throw a strike, and great catch. Cover 2 deep look there for Northern. Their 3-man front, playing a 3-4, 2 safety shell, and right down the middle of the shell there, or the bubble on the 2 deep safeties, was Norris.
Under 4 minutes left to be played here in the first quarter. Palandri's in trouble, has to get rid of it. And it's going to be incomplete. It's going to be 2nd down and 10, and Braden Klein's having quite a game for the Lights.
Well, you see here, 7-man pressure, Lights bringing everybody, trying to get home quickly and force Palandri to dump it off. And that was exactly what that's intended to do. 7-man pressure, man-to-man across the board.
Palandri 4 of 9, 65 yards on the afternoon, and Norris with 3 catches for 58. He averages 110 yards a game, receiving at 2nd best in the nation this year.
Northern bringing it again on the pressure.
Here comes Gibson, right up the middle for Gibson. And Gibson goes for about 4. He went for 102 yards against Tech this year, and 125 against Rocky.
Yeah, he's having a nice season, kind of coming out of nowhere. Really hasn't played much in his career other than special teams, but really having a nice season in this rotating backfield by the Bulldogs. We mentioned 4 running backs with over 270 yards rushing on the year. That's amazing.
It's going to be 3rd down and 7 for the men in black. The 6-1 Montana Western Bulldogs. Palandri looking right. Pump fake. Palandri's going to be sacked. Dylan Wampler, the defensive start for the Lights, with the sack.
Well, and that could take him out of field goal range on this crazy field here. Mears normally is a
50-yard field goal last week.
50-yarder, but a little different conditions at 95 degrees on the turf down in Arizona versus 20 and on not the frozen
They're
tundra
going to
anymore.
go for it. It's going to be a 42-yard attempt for Mears. 3 times this year, the Frontier Conference Special Teams Player of the Week. He's 8 of 9 on field goal attempts. So this one from 42, he was good from 50. At Arizona Christian, snap back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and that is going to be wide left and short. And still a scoreless game here in Dillon.
Well, we saw in the replay there that sack on Palandri. That's on the quarterback there. Northern bringing 7-man pressure. Don't have enough linemen to block. You have to get rid of that ball quickly. You can't pump fake it if you're Palandri and expect to have more pressure. He's got to beat that extra rusher as the QB. And talking to Coach Norris before the game, I asked, what do you expect from Northern's defense? He's like, they're going to play hard, and they're going to blitz 6 and 7 guys pretty much every play. And he's been pretty much right so far. Other than that big shot to Norris down the field, I don't expect us to, when they had 3-man rush, I don't expect to see that very often again from Northern.
Platt will throw on the run, pass complete, and a gain of about 5. But how about that Northern defense that you talked about? I mean, they come in giving up 35 points a game. The Bulldogs average 35 points a game. They average 460 yards of offense a game. And so far here in the first quarter, that's just not happening.
Yeah, and Coach Norris, he said it. Their defense is pretty good. They're giving up a lot of points, but he's like, their offense isn't on the field ever, so their defense plays almost the entire game, every game. So they're bound to give up points playing that much.
That's very true. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 here. And a pass complete to Cannon Smith, the running back, and a gain of about 4. It's going to be 3rd down and short. Coming up, Cannon Smith getting a lot more playing time. A 5'6", 187-pound junior out of Eureka. They're in the playoffs this year. I think was a Huntley project going to Eureka. 4 Montana high schools had to travel more than 500 miles this weekend, one way.
Yeah, and that's not going to stop here going as we progress through the rounds. It's amazing how big this state is when you start thinking about how far teams travel for these playoff football games.
It's going to be 3rd down and short. Platt, 4 of 5, but only 10 yards. And they're going to keep it on the ground. They're not going to get the 1st down.
Well, Northern's only chance of moving the football is those little bubble screens that they've run on 1st and 2nd down there and try to get some guys out on the perimeter. They're not going to make yards up the middle on this Western defense.
Isaiah Thomas is back, and Nicholas Hunchek to punt for the Lights of MSU-Northern.
Well, he's bombed two punts so far.
This last punt went over 60 yards on the frozen tundra here at Vigilante Stadium. And when the last one just sailed well over the head of Thomas, and Thomas will pick it up on one bounce to the 27-yard line. Thompson across the 30 to 35. Thompson midfield before he's knocked out. Nice return, Isaiah Thomas. Just 5 seconds left to be played here in quarter number 1, and the Lights have shut out the Bulldogs of Montana Western here in the first quarter.
Good job by Thomas picking this up on the bounce. He's probably the fastest guy on this Bulldog team, so he gets the Jets going here vertically on the far sideline and pushed out of bounds. Well, just kind of run out of bounds there. The punter got him out. 5 seconds to go here in this first quarter. 0-0, a bit of a surprise. That the field's kind of been an equalizer, though, right? Like, it's kind of slowing down the Western offense. It feels like you're trying to get your footing, figure it out. But credit the Northern defense. They're coming out with their hair on fire. Braden Klein's been tremendous in this first quarter.
That Thomas return is the Bulldogs will start their drive at a 38-yard line of Northern. And Palandri in trouble again. Palandri's going to be sacked for the 2nd time, a loss of 5, as the first quarter comes to an end. A scoreless game here in Dillon.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly sparkling water. With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus. Make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Montana, a place of rugged beauty, hardworking people, and endless opportunities. And for over 100 years, Opportunity Bank has been here. As Montana Bank with a legacy of stability and service, we understand what it takes to build a future in this place you call home. So if you're looking for a bank that's as Montana as you are, come to Opportunity Bank of Montana. Of Montana, by Montanans since 1922. Member FDIC.
Life water. Taste. And feel. Whole body hydration. Life water.
Well, no score in the first quarter. As we start the second quarter, 70 yards of offense for Montana Western, -1 for Northern in that first quarter. But their defense has not given up a score. Palandri on second down and long, rolls right, and Palandri overthrew his intended receiver again, and it's Eli Norse once again.
Yeah, a little high there. Maybe catchable for Norse there, but the throw is way too late. He's got to pull the trigger on that one because Norse is already clear on the sideline and has really no room to maneuver. So get him the ball earlier coming out of that break and give him a chance at it. Palandri is certainly looking a little bit off here so far in this first quarter and a couple plays here.
Well, he's 4 of 10. And he came into the game completing 64% of his passes on the season. He's going to be third down and 15. They're going to keep it on the ground. There's Gibson. It comes off right tackle. And Gibson is stopped after a gain of about 4 yards. Almost makes it back the line of scrimmage.
Well, that play call there tells me they're going for it on fourth down. Trying to get half of it there on that 3rd and 15. And they're lined up certainly to go for it.
Well, they're 7 of 9 on the year. Best in the Frontier Conference on fourth down conversions. But this is fourth down and 10. And a timeout is going to be taken by the lights of MSU-Northern. And their defense here in this first quarter has been outstanding. So we got a timeout early in the second. 14:21 left. No score here at Vigilante Stadium in Dillon.
I was attracted to the biology program here at Western, mainly because of the block program. I like the Experience One program, first off because of the small class sizes. I'm able to get to know my classmates really well, and second off because of the professors, getting to know them. And it allows you to be more than just a student in the class. They care about you and they care about what you're doing. After attending Western, I plan to go to the University of Washington School of Medicine, the WWAMI program, and practice rural medicine throughout Montana.
As the saying goes, it takes a village. But we think there's more to it than that. At First Interstate Bank, we've come to realize that sometimes all it takes is a single person. A smile, a handshake, a tip of the hat, and the knowledge that you can count on them to be by your side. That things are going to be done and done right. Being a part of our community, it's bigger than banking. It's you and I together.
That's only the third time in 10 attempts that Montana Western came up short on fourth down as Palandri was rushed and unable to make the catch. on the other end. So on downs, the Lights will take over offensively. Platt will roll left. Platt's pass is caught. Dion comes out of the backfield, and that's going to be close to an MSU-Northern first down. Well, I'm thinking one of the biggest upsets in college football history this season, Phil.
Well, this would be if it happens. There's no doubt based on what the records show and all the statistics and everything like that. But good job of Platt rolling to his left and dumping it off for Dion. If it does enough, does pick up the first down into Bulldog. Not quite the Bulldog territory.
Camus Thomas, their leading receiver, to the right side. They're going to go on the ground, and that's going to be the quarterback, Platt, and Platt's going to lose about 3 yards. And minus 14 yards rushing in this game for Northern. They had minus 6 against the College of Idaho, minus 10 against Carroll, and minus 13 against Rocky. Now it's going to be second down and 13. Platt's 5 of 6 through the air, but just 20 yards. Jeremiah Benson from Wolf Point to the right side with Thomas. Can the Lights keep the drive alive here? Platt slips. Platt lets it fly, almost intercepted.
I was just about to say what Platt isn't doing, though, is turning the football over and, keeping this game. Obviously, this is what Northern wants. They've kept it scoreless. Their only chance is for this game to be really, really low scoring, because their offense just isn't explosive enough to score a lot of points. And as long as he can't turn it over, and the Light defense continues to play as it has, Bulldogs are going to have to beat that 7-man blitz that Northern is going to throw at them every play in order to score points in this ballgame.
3 pass catchers to the right side. It's going to be third down and 15. Thomas will come into motion. And Platt tries to run as his pocket collapsed very, very quickly.
Ben Howerton Jr. out of Horseshoe, Idaho. I'm not sure where Horseshoe, Idaho is.
Isaiah Thomas is back. He had a great return on his last opportunity. Nicholas Hunchak to punt. And Hunchak has taken a few punts this season. Another nice spiral kick. Thomas drops it on the 10, eludes one tackle, eludes a couple of more. Thomas on the run. The 25, the 30, can't make the corner. The ball is stripped. And they're going to say it's going to be Montana Western football. What a defensive stop. That's Lucas Thacker out of Columbia Falls. He almost just stole the football away.
Yeah, he did get it right from Isaiah Thomas, but they were already out of bounds, fortunately for the Bulldogs. A dangerous catch there from Isaiah Thomas, and picking it up, it looked like he went between his legs to pick that up in traffic. And boy, that's, if you're Coach Norris, your heart's up in your throat.
We got a timeout. Be back with more.
There's a lot of tradition in farming. My son, he picked up everything. When my grandson was born, we both were chewing, thinking about what could happen, mouth cancer, throat cancer, or worse. Finally, we decided that's addiction, not tradition.
To protect my son, we quit. We did it together. Took us a few times, but we're stubborn.
We called the quit line, found what worked for us.
And we quit for good this time.
Montana, a place of rugged beauty, hardworking people, and endless opportunities. And for over 100 years, Opportunity Bank has been here. As a Montana bank with a legacy of stability and service, we understand what it takes to build a future in this place you call home. So if you're looking for a bank that's as Montana as you are, come to Opportunity Bank of Montana. Of Montana, by Montanans since 1922. Member FDIC.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus. Make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. A scoreless game. The MSU-Northern defense has played well here in the first half. 3 wide receivers to the right side. Another stop in the backfield. Humphrey goes nowhere. Humphrey's going to lose a couple. Is that Klein again?
I think that was 67 Perkins in on that from Culbertson.
That's not too far from Vida. Well, Klein helped out a bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be second down and 11. You don't know where Vida is, do you?
If it's by Culbertson, I do. I have a general idea anyway.
Grew up on the wheat farm in Vida between Wolf Point and Circle, a 3-room grade school. Second down and 11. They're going to go on the ground again. Humphrey finds a little bit of room out across the 40-yard line. And it's going to be third down and short coming up for the Bulldogs. This is a team that averages more than 200 yards a game on the ground. 5.6 yards a carry. 460 yards a game. Humphrey.
Well, that field is getting slick. You're seeing guys just sliding all over the place. The middle of the field has turned brown now. That's mud, right? Like the green grass is gone.
Well, you don't see that very often. I do. This is the only, Vigilant Helena at Nelson Stadium. They've got grass as well. Norris is going to come into motion. It's going to be third down and 3. And here Gibson in the game. Gibson gets the first down and then some. Across the midfield, one man to beat and saving a touchdown. Smelter. Big run for Pete Gibson. He continues to have an outstanding season.
Yeah, Pete's been the home run hitter for the Bulldogs in the run game. He's got several carries over 40 yards this year, and again, another one, and that's, I think we might see, we talked about it in the timeout. Bulldogs need to stick with the ground game here for a drive or two and see if they can get that going, and so far this drive, it's been all on the ground.
10 minutes left to be played here in the first half in a scoreless first half. From the 35-yard line for the Bulldogs, they come in averaging 35. Palandri lays it out. Gibson makes the catch. And that's going to be a gain of about 7 or 8. So Gibson with a big run. And then Gibson turns around and makes the reception.
The Light's lucky that Klein was able to just barely get Gibson pushed out of bounds, or that one might have went to the end zone there. But Klein does get him out. Barely. There was nobody else back there.
It's going to be second down and short for the Bulldogs. Trying to find the end zone for the first time in the afternoon. And Palandri's uniform is getting a bit muddy. Play fake. Here comes the pressure. Palandri in trouble. That's a free football. Deflected, incomplete, and Smelter almost had the pick.
Well, I'm not sure what Palandri's doing there. That's an up for grabs. Anybody's ball game there. That's one you just throw away. It's second and short. Live to play another down, but lucky to get that one back is Michael Palandri. You see on the replay here. Avoids the pressure there, but good job keeping him contained there by the Light defense.
It's going to be third down and a yard. And on the ground they go to Humphrey. Humphrey's going to get the first down, but we've got Laundry on the field.
In multiple places.
Humphrey needed a yard. He picked up 4. The fewest passing yards this season for Palandri came against Rocky when he threw for just 154. He went for 329 against Eastern Oregon this year. Chop block, and that's going to go against the Bulldogs.
Oh, that's a big one. Instead of first down inside the 25, it's going to be third and long here for Western. And you're going to see, I would be shocked if we don't see 7-man pressure here from the Lights. That's a 15-yarder, that chop block.
Third down and long. It's going to be third down and 15. Palandri, 5 of 13, 74 yards on the afternoon on a slick, muddy field here in Dillon. Norse catches the screen, and Norse, a gain of about 5, almost made it back to the line of scrimmage. Will they allow Mears to attempt a field goal? Mears missed from 42 earlier.
I think the Bulldogs expected a heavy blitz there. That's a blitz type of play, run that perimeter screen, and actually Northern stayed back in coverage that time.
It's going to be fourth down and 11. They're 0 for 1 on fourth down conversions on the afternoon. They're 7 of 10 on the season. Palandri over the middle, pass is caught. First down and then some. The 15 to 10, the 5. Kirkley into the end zone. His 4th touchdown reception of the season.
Well, we talked about it in the timeout. You beat that 7-man pressure by those quick slants on the interior. That's what it was to Kirkley there, the quick slant, the quick hitter, and that's how you beat the man-to-man. 7-man pressure, it's called zero coverage, no safeties in the secondary. So if you beat the guy in front of you, there's no one else to beat, and walks into the end zone there, does Kirkley.
Mears has not missed a PAT this season. He's a perfect 29 of 29. Snap back, hold is down, kick is away, and the kick is good. 7-0. The Bulldogs of Montana Western with the first score.
Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan Association, the only operating savings and loan in Montana. Since 1912, we've been helping our neighbors fulfill their dreams. What's the difference between a bank and a savings and loan? They both offer mortgages, personal loans, car loans, and commercial loans. But a savings and loan is owned by our customers, so we are able to offer competitive interest rates on savings accounts, CDs, and money market accounts. And the biggest difference is we are 100% invested in our communities. Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
Well, the shutout is over as the Bulldogs finally get on the scoreboard here in the second quarter. Coming up at halftime, Phil Willett will visit with Athletic Director Michael Filing, and they'll talk about that new football stadium with artificial turf. No more muddy uniforms.
Yeah, that would be welcomed today on this slick track. This field's not done seeing football games either. The Beavers will be hosting as many playoff games as they can win, and up until probably the state championship. But
Rose from the 5. Rose cuts to the left side, tries to make the corner, unable to do so. And the MSU-Northern offense is on the field, a minus 14 yards on the ground, 20 yards through the air. But defensively, they've been very, very solid.
Yeah, it's been a good job by the light defense. They're bringing so much pressure that it's kind of flustered Palandri, but they got the quick hitter there on that inside slant to Kirkley and walked into the end zone. So those are the busters you need on that cover zero defense, 7-man pressure of the quick hitters.
True freshman quarterback Ashton Platt out of Great Falls High wants to throw on first down. Going to air it out. Pass is caught by Shelton. Big gain. And that is the biggest gain of the game, out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, good job there going up and getting that ball for Devin Shelton from Frenchtown.
Move the chains for the Lights. That was huge. First down and 10 from the 40. And can the Lights answer? They're averaging just 7 points a game this season. They work from the 40-yard line. Platt in trouble. Platt will throw on the run and no receiver anyplace.
Well, the front four of the Bulldogs just living in the backfield there. When Platt goes back to throw, 90 Arts and 91 Munson.
Second down and 10. Platt on the afternoon is 6 of 8 for 44 yards. They work from the 40-yard line. Platt threw for 941 yards last year at Great Falls High, and it's Dion on the carry across the left side, and Dion for a few yards. It's going to be third down and long. Coming up for the Lights. They're 1-6 on the year. They're 0-5 in the Frontier Conference. They won their opening game against Mayville State, 14-0. Mayville State out of the North Star Conference. Third down and 7 for MSU-Northern here. Can Platt get another completion? Devin Shelton split out wide to the right side. Platt looking for Shelton. Pass is caught, and Wolstead makes the catch, but far short of the first down. What those receivers need to do is get to the first down marker, then turn around, look for the football.
Yeah, you got to run to the sticks on 3rd and 7. He ran about a 2-yard route there. But that's a long throw from Platt across the field there to only pick up 2 yards. But not only a long throw, a dangerous throw.
And look who's back for Montana Western. It's Eli Norris, the speedy wide receiver. Eli Norris already with 4 catches for 64 yards. Low snap. Hunchek, another great kick. And Eli Norris from the 10-yard line is going to cut right. Eli's going to be brought down. And a return of only a couple of yards. And boy, what a job that Nicholas Hunchek has done getting rid of that football. And the Bulldogs have not had great field position today.
Hunchek has done he's the MVP for the Northern so far this ball game. He's been a phenomenal job punting. Every punt has been a spiral, which just lets it carry and carry and carry. They're not real high punts, but they're spiraling and they're just getting away.
We are Northern.
7-0 our score. The Bulldogs are out on top, and we've got 4 teams.
We are the farmers, the plumbers, the electricians, and the technicians. We are dedicated, passionate, driven, and sought after. We are the world's essential workers, and we are prepared for whatever comes next. Join us and prepare for the world at MSU Northern.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus. Make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Another sack for the Lights. That is their
I teach a
third
large variety of
sack
classes. I think that you learn
of this
more
game.
well, the snap was just dribbled back to Palandri, so he had no chance. And again, Light's bringing tons of pressure, so the pocket's going to collapse quickly.
Palandri 7 of 15, 116 yards. It's going to be second down and long. Palandri halfway in the end zone, and the pass to Norse, and there's going to be pass interference call as Eli Norse unable to get to that football. And that's going to be a first down for the Bulldogs. Costly penalty.
Well, Giamatti Panay comes out with his hands up like, what did I do? Well, I'm a little bit early there for Panay, but again, the quick hitter against that heavy pressure, that's how you have to beat that 7-man blitz. Sooner or later, you keep blitzing like that, you're going to get burned, which they did on the touchdown. If you keep throwing those quick hitters, if you're the Bulldogs, and let those athletes on the perimeter make plays, that's how you get them out of that 7-man blitzing.
Well, the score, a little bit of a surprise early on. As Montana Western, the 13th ranked team in the nation, only up 7-0. That is almost picked off by Rose. Wow. Rose had an excellent opportunity for an interception there.
Yeah, Palandri threw it to the inside there where you can't, and good break there from Rose, and should have picked that one off.
He's going to be second down and 10. Palandri struggled a bit here in the first half. 7 of 17.
Well, this pressure that Northern's bringing in, they're showing it again, bringing everybody. It's certainly affected his mentality here.
And Gibson, no, that's going to be Humphrey, and Humphrey's going to be very close to a first down, just short of a first down. Nope, they give it to him. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Under 5 minutes left to be played. Here in the first half from Dillon. And the lights are on here at Vigilant. Why are the lights on so early?
Not sure. That was a shoestring tackle you can see here on the replay. This was almost a touchdown here for Humphrey. Just barely gets tripped up there in the secondary. Again, when they're bringing 7 guys, if you break that first line of defense, there's not much back there.
Another first down, play fake. Palandri is going to air it out deep. Shipley makes the catch at the 10. That's going to be a touchdown. And the Bulldogs have scored again. That covers 69 yards. Wow.
Well, nice, just a little short roll out there for Palandri. Let him get his feet under him. You'll see here on the replay, just a mini roll, coupled step roll, and he had Shipley on his mind all the way in man-to-man coverage and just got way behind the secondary there for the lights. That's rain on the coverage. Shipley's a big play receiver, but sat out for a couple games there in mid-season, but back in form again for Dylan Shipley.
Here's 30 of 30 on PATs on the season and make it 31 of 31. And the Bulldogs out on top 14-0 late here in the first half from Vigilante Stadium in Dillon. And we'd like to thank our Frontier Conference sponsors that make these telecasts possible. Cooper Tire, Tire-Rama, D.A. Davidson, Erk Hotels, McDonald's, Northwestern Energy, Pepsi, and U.S. Bank. Rocky Erickson alongside Phil Willett. The Bulldogs are very good at home. The last 5 seasons, they're 21-3 on their home field. They get that turf field, they may be unstoppable.
Well, it'll certainly be a better surface to play on, there's no doubt, and it's going to be on campus, which has changed the environment for the rest of the college students as well. They just have to walk across campus to go to a football game. It should be a great atmosphere for that. Very exciting news for Western and the community of Dillon to get that on-campus stadium, no doubt.
Palandri now with 185 yards passing. A couple of big passing plays. Here's Rose from the 13-yard line. On the return, Rose has some room across the 30, and Rose takes a big hit.
Yeah, kind of slipping, and then also to combat that with the contact, but that was almost busted there from Rose. He found a little seam, and luckily there, I didn't see who made the tackle for the Bulldogs, but that was very, very close for Rose to hitting a home run.
The Lights offense back on the field.
Speaking of home runs, you see that game 1 of the World Series last night, how that
11th inning.
A walk-off home run for the Rangers.
That's what you practice when you're, 7, 8 years old in the yard, hitting a walk-off home run in the World Series.
Well, the Rangers were down 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th and hit a 2-run homer to tie it to put it into extras.
Platt wants to throw on first down, airs it out deep, and Coulter Woldstead almost made a spectacular catch. I like the call.
Yep.
I mean, you got to go big here.
Yep. Take shots. They completed one on the other side to Devin Shelton. Romeo Simpson with good coverage there for the Bulldogs. But yeah, take your. There's no reason not to if you're the Lights. The run game has pretty much been eliminated. I'd be shocked if they run it more than 5 times the rest of this game. While the game's still close.
Minus 12 yards on the ground this afternoon for the Lights. Platt, pressure. Platt's going down. Platt's going to be sacked back near the 15-yard line.
I think that's 96. I can't see the number with the mud on it. Or it might be 98. Tyler Walker, yeah. Another Dillon product making a play there for the Bulldogs.
That is a big, big loss.
Well, the screen was set up there, trying to set up the screen, and a cardinal sin for Platt of taking a sack on a screenplay when there's no blocking for you.
14-0. Bulldogs out on top late in the second. And it's going to be 2nd down and 21. And Platt is going to be sacked again for the 2nd time in a row.
Walker again with the sack, I believe, for the Bulldogs. Back-to-back Beaver sacks there for Dillon product Tyler Walker.
And now Hunchak is back in the end zone to punt this one out. Norse near midfield.
Danger zone now for Northern. If Western can get good field position and score a touchdown before half, a close game all of a sudden just gets completely blown wide open.
Last time they met, it was 66-0 to Montana Western. And Norse from the 45-yard line. Norse eludes one tackle. Stop and go. Spins out of another tackle. Penalty flag is down. Out across the 40. North could go the distance. One man to beat. Inside the 5. Touchdown. Punt return. Eli Norse, 45 yards, but I think it's coming back.
Well, he might have got himself another job now. It's the first time we've seen him having punt returns this year, and apparently he's pretty good at that too. But yeah, I think you're right. That one's going to get negated.
What a punt return for the freshman out of Dillon. Eli Norse scores a touchdown, but a penalty flag on the play, and that will not count.
Going to be about a 60-yard penalty when they mark this off. 58-yard penalty. Not to mention wipe off a spectacular return by Eli Norse. He went, this happens a lot when you go this many directions on a punt return. You're bound to get a block in the back. I don't know where it was there, actually, in that, based on where the flag was at, but he shows his ability in the open field that Eli Norse. Actually, they're going to mark a clear back on the end, almost to the 30-yard line.
Back to the 32-yard line, 2:29 left to be played, quarter number 2. The Montana Western Bulldogs are 6-1 on the year. They've won their last 5. They lost to the College of Idaho in week 2, 37-35 on a Hail Mary, right?
Hail Mary, yeah. Otherwise, they finished last year 4 wins in a row. They'd have 10 wins in a row, minus that Hail Mary.
They are the hottest team of the Frontier right now. Humphrey on the carry. You've got College of Idaho ranked 8th this week, Carroll 11th, Montana Western 13th. Tech comes in 23. They've expanded the playoffs to 20 teams this year. And the 68th National Championship game set for December 18th in Durham, North Carolina. It's going to be second down and 7 from the 34-yard line. Palandri wants to throw. Palandri will run, and Palandri almost got the first down. He's just a couple of yards short.
Braden Klein with a good open field tackle there. Palandri looked like he was going to have some room once he broke this pocket, but out in the open field, a sure tackle there by Klein.
Timeout taken by Montana Western. It's going to be third down and 2. 14-0 our score. The Bulldogs are out on top. 92 seconds left to be played in this first half. Our Game of the Week sponsors, the Montana Chevy Dealers. Also brought to you by Opportunity Bank. Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. And Pepsi. Rocky Erickson with Phil Willett here at Vigilante Stadium in Dillon. It was a scoreless game at the end of one. The Bulldogs have scored twice here in the second, and the MSU-Northern defense has played very well this afternoon. Third down and short. And 9 on the line. Handoff. Oh, Humphrey slips in that mud, and he's going to lose a couple. The punting unit will come on.
Yeah, I was going to say, no way that Coach Norris goes for it this far into his own territory. There's no reason to go for it and not get it and give Northern actually a short field to try to get some points on the half. I'm kind of surprised Northern doesn't take a timeout here, but I think obviously Jerome Sowers not real confident in his offense, I would say, right now, to say the least, with the pressure that Platt has been under on every throw he's come back for, and the run game has been non-existent.
DeWard gets the punt off. Rose on the return, and Rose will not pick it up, and that's going to go inside the 20-yard line down to the 17-yard line. And the MSU Northern offense is on the field, and they have struggled this afternoon. They have struggled this season.
We'd like to thank the University of Montana Western sponsors for this game. University of Montana Western is thankful for these supporters: Dennis Scherg at Edward Jones, Bank of Commerce, Baird Hospital and Healthcare, Allegiance Benefit Plan Management, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan, Beaverhead Motors, Safeway, Mountain View Insurance, Farmers Union Insurance, Flying S Title Escrow, Northwestern Energy, Taylor Realty, and Game One.
And the Lights will try to run the football with not much success. Mason Dion on the carry.
That most likely will be final play. Looks like there's going to be about a second differential.
Our halftime guest will be the MSU Northern Athletic Director, Michael Filey.
Western takes a timeout here. Interesting. Coach Norris
thinking
the
ball back.
Coach Norris thinking, well, maybe they might fumble it down in their own territory here if they try to run. If I was Northern, I would take the snap and take a knee and get out of here. Down to one timeout is the Bulldogs here in this first half, but I think Coach Norris thinking if they're going to continue to run, we're going to take a timeout and see if we can cause a turnover. But Platt's going to go under center, so I'm assuming he's now going to just take the snap and take a knee.
We started with a bit of a snow-covered field, and now it's a bit muddy. 14-0. Platt's going to come under center, and they're going to take a knee, and that will do it. Should do it. Or did Western call another timeout? They did. The Bulldogs took another timeout. It's going to be third down and 14. How about this move?
Well, I maybe a little mind game playing here by Coach Norris. Make them snap it, I guess. It is, pretty inclement field. The ball's probably a little bit slick. It's cold. It's got some mud and some moisture on it. You never know.
55th meeting between these two teams. Montana Western leads in the series 38-16. The Bulldogs have won the last 14 games. The last win for the Lions, September 28th, 2013 in Dillon, 33-21. It's going to be 3rd down and 14. And they take a knee again. And the Bulldogs do not have any timeouts left. And that is going to be halftime. The 13th ranked team of the nation, the Montana Western Bulldogs, out on top of the lights of MSU-Northern, 14-0.
We are Northern. We are the teachers and the nurses. We are the farmers, the plumbers, the electricians, and the technicians. We are dedicated, passionate, driven, and sought after. We are the world's essential workers, and we are prepared for whatever comes next. Join us and prepare for the world at MSU Northern.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups, plus make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
And we're back. Halftime here, the SWX game of the week. Montana Western Bulldogs and the Montana State University Northern Lights. 14-0 at halftime here. The Bulldogs on top. A wintry ball game here today in Dillon. A muddy field, and a good job by your crew getting the snow off the field before the game here, but it's now turned to mud. It's pretty brown out there.
Yeah, no, Donnie Keltz, Engine 18, Jason Rose, all those guys did a phenomenal job. I was worried about midway through the week going, how is this going to get done? And they just said, hey, we'll take care of it. And I got here about 8 o'clock, and darn near thing was ready to go. So very appreciative.
Yeah, that's what small communities are all about,
Absolutely.
right? Let's get things taken care of. But next year, let's talk a little bit about next year as we'll talk stadium talk here.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone knows the big thing in Dillon now is the stadium push. Ground has been broken.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the schedule on the stadium and where things are sitting right now.
Yeah, so it was actually really awesome about a month and a half ago to see the plows, the machinery out there actually moving dirt. You know, we had the ceremony where you stick the shovel in and you flip the dirt, and but this just shows that the project is actually taking place, and it's going to be a monumental thing for us. And we fully anticipate our first home game next September, whatever that date might be, to be playing on it. And we're excited about what it brings to this community, and definitely makes clearing off the field a little bit easier for us. But we're on target to be playing, and Ari Miller and their crew have done a phenomenal job of just getting to work. And obviously the snow doesn't help, but it's Montana and things get done, and that's just been the biggest thing since I've moved here, that like you mentioned earlier, it's the community, it's the thing, and it's everyone coming together, and just being able to, and that's what the stadium is going to be. It's truly going to be where everyone's coming together and seeing this project through.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about, you mentioned Ari Miller, the contractor, who's the general contractor of it. They're a Montana company. They understand how to work through winter, but talk a little bit about how does this change the atmosphere, the campus atmosphere? Obviously changes a huge for the football program and Coach Norris and his crew and the players and being able to recruit, but talk a little bit about the difference between an on-campus stadium versus, you know, the students having to travel all the way across town
Yep.
to come to football games.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, it's a 5-minute drive from the dorms to here, but you know, it's just a barrier, and whether it's a 5-minute barrier or whatever, we're eliminating that barrier. We're bringing people that they can come right out of their dorms, they can tailgate out in our tundra, but you know, we firmly believe we have one of the best looking campuses here in the state of Montana, and just to get prospective recruits here, whether it be other student athletes, other students, just coming and seeing. In fact, you know, the other day up in our weight room there's a window that overlooks kind of the stadium and then the mountains, and I just caught myself for a minute just going, wow, that is beautiful. And you know, just being able to have that is just gonna, you know, our bookstore is gonna be right there. You know, people are gonna be connected to campus, and it's just gonna be, you know, what we want it to be, where campus brings people together, and it will open up the doors for admissions so that they can come and arrange tours during that time. And it's just an amazing opportunity to bring it to campus and have that true feeling of having the football team on campus, and just being able to show off how beautiful it truly is.
Yeah, and again, like all the fans that come to these games on Saturday that, you know, don't necessarily get to see the campus because they might not even go up there at all.
Yep.
And like you said, it gives a chance to show off a spectacular campus, the old buildings that have been there a long, long time, and it's a beautiful setting. And you're right, you're going to be people on there walking around campus before the games, after the games, and it's only positive things as far as growing the school as a whole and growing the student body, and those students that aren't football players, it just creates a totally different college experience for them.
It does, and you know, the other, I tease the other student athletes, they're not going to like when I bring it up, but it offers another means and ways of conditioning, getting in shape. You know, allowing our football players in the winter to be able to have a spot to go and throw, do some skelly 7-on-7, things of that nature. But again, you know, we partner with Montana Youth Challenge. It's a place for them to run, and we look forward to, you know, eventually when we get lights at the stadium, hosting and having the Beavers play. That's a big part for us. You know, those, you know, you've seen John Kirkley, you see Eli Norse out here. You know, those guys are Beavers, and now they're Bulldogs, and for them and for the younger kids to be able to play on this college field, it means something, and that's what we want to do is continue to bring that community together and provide those opportunities.
Yeah, you mentioned the Youth Challenge program. That's going to be a great spot for them to do their conditioning and things like that. So it's, you know, it can be a community gathering point, certainly. So exciting news for sure on campus, no doubt, and exciting for the community as a whole. Let's change gears just a little bit real quickly. It's fall season, football season's on, obviously, and the Bulldogs are in the midst of a playoff run, 6-1. You know, it's a dogfight. Quote, no pun intended, but it's a dogfight at the top there. College of Idaho, Montana Western, Carroll, all with one loss. Possible of two teams making the Frontier, which we've always felt that in the last few years at least, that two teams should have been making it no matter what. Anyway, I feel like two are going to make it this year. Talk a little bit about how that could play out. There's 8 teams, right, that'll be in round 1, and 12 will sit. Is that how?
Yep. So we had an AD's meeting earlier, about 2-3 weeks ago, and Matt Steppen, the athletic director up at Montana Tech, is well dialed in on the football side of things and the competition committee, and he said it's you know, the conference champion, and then probably want to be in the top 15. So that's what we're shooting for, and you know, we're cheering for some other teams, perhaps in the state of Oregon today. But you know, I think what's been impressive the most, and continues to impress me about the coaching staff and our players here, is just win.
Yeah.
You know, take care of what they need to take care of, and I just continue to be impressed by this team. You know, minus, you know, our first game against Lewis and Clark, there's been some sort of adversity that this team has faced all year long, and most times it can break a lot of teams. You know, when we were up by 3 last week at Arizona, I was as confident as could be that we were going to win because this group, led by a bunch of great seniors and some other kids, and of course Norris, man, he just knows how to get this team going, and his coaching staff has just done a phenomenal job. So we're looking forward to it. We're just focusing one game at a time. Obviously, we want to take care of this one, and then it sets up a heck of a matchup up in Helena next week.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Norris before the game, and I said, let's talk a little playoff. What's the scenarios? He goes, we have to beat Northern today.
Yep.
That's all I care about.
That is.
I'm not even looking to tomorrow. I mean, like, we play a game at 1 o'clock. That's all I'm worried about. After that, we'll worry about Carroll College next weekend, and see where the chips are at after today. And it's going to be a playoff type game next Saturday, no doubt. I mean, obviously, if Western has to take care of business in the second half here, but that's a playoff, almost a play-in game type of feel.
Yep, and Phil, we talk about in our department a championship experience for our student athletes, both in the classroom and in competitive control, only what you can control. But we look at our volleyball team is right there in the mix. Football's right in the mix. This is what you want. This is the type of experience that we want our kids to have, being able to compete for championships, have the resources to compete for championships. And again, what you talk about as far as the field coming forward, it's those things that are only just going to continue to enhance it. And I love the way our teams, all of our teams, are designed. We have some senior-led groups, but man, you look down our rosters for a lot of our sports, and we're going to be returning a lot of key contributors. And that's what we talk about with the coaches, is that retention and recruiting those student athletes that are not just great athletes, they're great people. And we at Bulldog Bash got to hear Cameron Rouser, and you were there, and it just was, I got a tear in my eye just because those are the types of people that we want at our institution and represent the city of Dillon and then the community. So it's a great time to be a Dog. We're looking forward to it. We just want to finish out here, go home, warm up, and just continue to do great things.
Well, appreciate your time here.
Appreciate it.
And you got to warm up for a little bit here at halftime. It's pretty. I'm dressed pretty light compared to you. I mean, but appreciate your time here coming up, Michael, and chatting with us for a minute and talking all things Bulldogs. I know you love doing that, and very proud of your position here, and you're doing a phenomenal job for this campus and community, and we greatly appreciate it. And I guess you got to bundle back up again.
Yeah,
and go back
your
outside,
wife said you're pretty lucky that you get to be up here in the heat. She's down there, so I said we'll see if we can maybe trade spots, but I'll let her know that you've decided to stay up here.
I think I'm good up here for today.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
That was Michael Filing, Athletics Director at Montana Western. We'll be back for the second half here, SWX Game of the Week.
I teach a large variety of classes. I think that you learn more by doing things with your hands.
I grew up on a family farm in Helena, Montana. I chose to come to Montana Western because of block schedule, where you have one class for 18 days, and that just fit me perfect.
We're mostly rotational grazing. I didn't really think much about intensive grazing, but I learned a lot about intensive grazing, how that produces more weight on your cattle.
Through the Farm and Ranch Minor, they can go back to their family operations and have different ways.
Discover the difference a family-owned Montana bank can make for you and your business. Stockman Bank is focused only on Montana, no place else. So you come first with us. Visit your neighborhood Stockman Bank to say hello and let us earn your trust and your business. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
To nothing at the half. Montana Western out on top. Check out this stat, Phil. 236 yards of offense for MSU Northern, just 7 yards of offense for Northern, 236 for Montana Western.
Yeah, and Western really, those are big chunk plays. They really haven't had any sustained drives. They had a couple big shots. Kirkley caught the one. Shipley caught the really long, this 60-whatever yarder. But other than that, Northern defense has played pretty solid. And yet Northern offense, we talked about it in the pregame, they've struggled all year. No surprise on that. The run game is just non-existent for the Lights. And, it puts young Ashton Platt in, really, it's difficult because the defensive line can just pin their ears back and come after him. And that's what they did in the first half there. The Bulldog front four controlled the line of scrimmage.
MSU-Northern defense was fantastic, though, in the first quarter, shutting out the Bulldogs, who come in averaging 460 yards a game on the season. Let's go to the Mountain Dew do-overs here in this first half. Platt, the true freshman quarterback for MSU-Northern, hitting his tight end, Jeremiah Benson, out of Wolf Point. And defensively, they were solid. That's Klein on another tackle. Klein in on several tackles in that first half for MSU-Northern. Kirkley also at a touchdown, and that is a big gainer. What a catch for Eli Norris. And Eli Norris has been the main target again. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet. 4 catches, 64 yards. Norris has scored a touchdown in every game this season. That Lights defense, that's Dylan Wampler on the sack, and they had a few sacks in this game, and that is the longest game, and that was Dylan Shipley making the reception for MSU-Northern. The field a bit slippery as Platt slipped there on that attempt. It was snow covered before the game started, and watch this return by Thomas. This is the one that was called back, right? No. He got the ball stripped, but the ball was stripped out of bounds. So Northern almost came up with a spectacular play. Rose misses a tackle, and Gibson with a huge run after the catch. Palandri going deep, and there's Kirkley with the catch, and Kirkley breaks one tackle, and Kirkley into the end zone for a long touchdown. That covered 63 yards in that first half. And the big bomb late and into the end zone for Montana Western, and that was Dylan Shipley. 14-0 at the break as the Bulldogs in that first half, they threw in for 185 yards, but the first quarter, it was hardly anything.
Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's 3 big chunk plays. You had the 69-yarder to Shipley, the 30-some-yard touchdown to Kirkley, and that long one to Eli Norris for 42 yards. Other than that, really hasn't been a lot of a passing game for Michael Palandri. It's been 6-7-man pressure from the Lights coming after Palandri and blitzing him like crazy, and you have to hit those quick hitters like they did on Kirkley's touchdown to get him out of that cover zero, no safety look, a man-to-man across the board. And they did it a couple times. The Bulldogs are going to have to continue it because I don't think the Lights are going to stop blitzing.
The Bulldogs come in the 13th ranked team in the nation. They're 6-1 on the year. They're at lead 14-0 here at halftime in Dillon.
So many flavors of dew. I am thirsty. I must get the dew.
Cut! He's hypnotized again!
Do the dew.
At Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience 1, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
Montana, a place of rugged beauty, hardworking people, and endless opportunities. And for over 100 years, Opportunity Bank has been here. As a Montana bank with a legacy of stability and service, we understand what it takes to build a future in this place you call home. So if you're looking for a bank that's as Montana as you are, come to Opportunity Bank of Montana. Of Montana, by Montanans since 1922. Member FDIC.
It's fourth down, seconds on the clock. He hands it off, finds a hole up the middle. Clear, nothing but incredible. A touchdown for the win. I can't believe it.
Pizza, better with Pepsi.
The top 3 ranked teams in NAIA college football this week, all from the state of Iowa. Northwestern Iowa, 8-0, ranked number 1. They won the national championship a year ago. They have a win streak of 21. Grandview of Iowa ranked 2nd. They won the national championship in 2013. And, of course, Morningside, they've won 3 titles since 2018. The Red Raiders of Northwestern Iowa, the last 7 years, how about 72-11? December 18th in Durham, North Carolina. That's the date of the 68th NAIA National Championship. Phil, I'm going to put you on the spot here. The first NAIA National Championship took place in 1956. It was a tie, 0-0. Who was one of those teams that shared the national championship in 56?
Montana State Bobcats.
Exactly. The Bobcats, the only college in the nation to win 3 national championships at 3 different levels, and their first national championship was in 1956. They tied St. Joseph of Indiana 0-0 in that national championship game. You know, Kaiser of Florida is ranked 6th. They won the national championship in 2020, but Kaiser, they have 2 losses against Division II schools. St. Thomas of Florida, who Carroll hosted this year, they're 5-3. St. Thomas is ranked 17th. They lost to Carroll, they lost to number 7 Kaiser, and they lost to a Division I school to kick off the season. So I think the Rankers are definitely doing their homework. Squid kick to start this second half, and Rose picks it up at about the 30-yard line, and Rose is going to be brought down. Just 7 yards of offense for MSU-Northern in that first half, 236 yards for the Bulldogs, but the scoreboard does not reflect those type of numbers, as the Bulldogs only found the end zone twice, and they lead 14-0.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding for the Bulldog offense here against this Northern defense, no doubt. Northern's done a good job of containing them. I'm not sure neither team's coming onto the field. Bulldogs were offsides on the kickoff. So 5-yard penalty. They'll start about the 24-yard line, it looks like. But yeah, big chunk plays by the Bulldog offense. Really, there was no sustained drives whatsoever in the first half there for Western, and they didn't get the ground game going like they have. We talked about it. They're over 200 yards a game rushing. Gibson and Humphrey, been pretty much held in check here in that first half. Gibson had one nice run, but other than that, it's been the light defense has come to play, no doubt.
Only 51 yards on the ground for the Bulldogs. Let's see what adjustments the team's made at halftime. It's going to be 1st down and 10, the Lights. We'll have the football to start this third quarter. We're going to re-kick. We're going to re-kick now.
We're going to re-kick. I was going to say, I'm surprised they're not making him kick that over in this kind of iffy footing, no doubt. That was a great squib kick that kind of went away from Rose there and was difficult for him to track down. So we'll see if the Bulldogs squib it again here from 5 yards further back.
Montana Tech, the 4th Frontier Conference team, ranked to the top 25 this week. Rocky, wow, what a win for the Battling Bears of Rocky last week as they upset Montana Tech at home. And the Diggers are now 4-3 on the season.
Yeah, this conference just continues to amaze how, the top 3/4 of the conference is so equal. Southern Oregon is 4-3 as well. They could easily be ranked. They've won 3 in a row. They're hosting Carroll today. That's going to be an interesting matchup out in Ashland, Oregon of can Carroll go out there and knock off Southern Oregon, who really is on a bit of a roll right now.
And of course, Montana Western at Carroll College, same type of kick, and Rose from the 25-yard line slips at the 30, slips again, and Rose trying to make the corner out across the 35-yard line, and it's going to be a factor in this game, Phil. You know, when we got here, it was pretty much snow covered. Well, the sun came out, the snow's gone, and it is slippery in spots out there.
Yeah, the middle of the field is completely brown pretty much between the hashes, and it's only going to get slicker here as it begins to thaw out, and the mud continues to go here. You can see, like, especially the 30s and 40-yard lines on each end, it's pretty much brown.
First down and 10. And quarterback keep, nope. It's going to be a screen pass coming in late, and Curvin, the intended receiver, that's incomplete. Platt, a true freshman out of Great Falls, 7 of 12 on the afternoon for 47 yards.
Well, that was a dangerous play. That could easily go the other direction for 6, trying to loft it over people on the perimeter there. That's a dangerous one there, looking for Smith there on the edge.
3 pass catchers left side. It's going to be second down and 10 for the Lions. Opening possession of this second half, and Curvin makes the catch, and a gain of about 1. These two teams met twice a year ago, September 17th in Havre. The Bulldogs won 35-6 in that game. Reese Neville rushed for 149 yards. Then on October 29th, here in Dillon, it was 42-0 at halftime. Montana Western won 66-0. And as a team, the Bulldogs had 646 yards of offense, just 8 yards short of their school record. It's going to be third down and 8. Platt gets rid of it quickly, and that is going to be batted down. So fourth down and long coming up, and the Bulldogs of Montana Western will get the football for the first time in the second half, and freshman Eli Norse is back.
Well, Platt is lucky to get that one back. Braden Smith had that one in his sights and nothing but grass and mud in front of him for a walk-in pick 6, but just couldn't corral that one.
Nicholas Hunchak, the punter, has been outstanding. He had a 61-yard punt in that first half. Another booming kick, and Norse will take it from the 15-yard line. Norse up the middle, eludes one tackle. Wampler on the stop, Dylan Wampler of MSU-Northern. Now we see the Bulldogs offense coming on the field. They were shut out in the first quarter of this game. They scored twice in the second. They got a couple of big plays through the air, but their vaunted rushing game has not been as successful as they have through the air, and that may be due to the muddy conditions.
Well, certainly a factor. I know Bulldogs had one of their starting offensive linemen sitting out the first half because of a personal foul in the Arizona Christian game. He'll be back here, left guard. Their Himuli, that's going to be a big factor for the Bulldogs.
Great first down run, Gibson midfield, and Gibson is gone into the end zone, but a penalty flag is down. Oh my, that was a 67-yard touchdown run for Pete Gibson, and it's coming back.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get a replay here and see if we can pick out the holding, but boy, was that a good run and a good hole on the point of attack here. You'll see Bulldogs just zone blocking. Oh, they're going to call that takedown there. I don't know about that. A pancake block. That has to be the call there on the point of attack, but.
Well, what about these Dillon players? You got Eli Norse, the wide receiver, Pete Gibson, the running back.
Yeah, Kirkley has a touchdown, the wide receiver, and Tyler Walker with 2 sacks there in the first half. Beavers well represented here.
Boy, I'll say. Very impressive. Now it's going to be first down and 20. Wipe out a 67-yard touchdown run by Pete Gibson with a holding penalty. Palandri out of the shotgun on first and long. Screen pass caught. Eli Norse. Norse to 30 to 35. Boy, Norse has some wheels. Makes up about 12 yards. It's going to be second down coming up for the Bulldogs. And Eli needs a touchdown. He has scored a touchdown in every one of his college games that he has played this season, and he needs to keep that streak alive.
Well, good job on the perimeter there, blocking by Dylan Shipley, and Norris chewing up yards quickly on that little tunnel screen.
It's going to be second down and 6 for the Bulldogs, their first offensive opportunity. And here comes the light, showing blitz again. Pass is caught short of the first down. Kirkley makes the catch. And let's see if they go for it on 4th and 1. They're 1 of 2 on 4th downs. It's going to be 3rd down, not 4th. It's going to be 3rd down, and wow, less than a yard.
Well, and that tackle there was a touchdown saver. Again, when you bring the 7, you break one tackle, and if Kirkley was able to slip that tackle, there's nothing but real estate in front of him.
The Bulldogs lead 14-0 early here in the third quarter. Here comes Gibson, and Gibson caught from behind. He needed a half a yard. He didn't get it. The Northern defense held, and now it is 4th down.
Yeah, no gain there on the run. Good job up front by the light defensive line. Holding strong. Interesting call here for Coach Norris on 4th down. They're actually going to measure it, I think, now.
They're 8 of 10 going for it on 4th down this year. That is the best percentage in the Frontier Conference this season. Montana Western is going to be at Carroll, home against Eastern Oregon, and they stretch out the chains, and they will be short, and that's going to be about 14 inches, Phil. I had laser eye surgery.
Yeah, you're a good call there. I suspect, yeah, they're going to go for it. I don't think there's a reason not to if you're Coach Norris. Make a statement here, I'm sure is his thought. But when you stay in the shotgun exclusively, it makes these little short yardage plays just a little bit more difficult. You know, the timing's got to be perfect. Obviously, Northern's going to sell out and bring everybody.
Wampler comes up. Here they come. Palandri slips. Palandri comes to the right side. He gets the first down. Out across the 45-yard line. Klein on the stop again, but move the chains for the Bulldogs of Montana Western. Trying to win their 6th game in a row. Trying to improve to 7-1 overall and 5-1 in the Frontier.
Well, credit Coach Norris. Good call there. He knew they were bringing everybody inside, and the corner Rose just did the Cardinals sin and gave up the edge here to Palandri. Rose should have been able to make that tackle in the backfield, and that would have been a loss of downs there for the Bulldogs.
Gibson with 38 yards on the ground. He's been over 100 twice, 125 against Rocky, 102 against Tech. Palandri's going to air this one out deep, and it's going to be short.
Well, and he had Isaiah Thomas open there if he's able to get it out in front of him. Again, heavy pressure by the lights. We say it every play. Yeah, just well short there of no chance for Isaiah Thomas.
Montana Western at home up against the lights of MSU-Northern. The Bulldogs have won the last 14 meetings. It's been 10 years since the lights knocked off Montana Western. Second down and 10. Here comes Gibson up the middle, and Gibson will go for about 4 yards.
Yeah, Pete Gibson, all these backs do a good job of just being north and south runners. There's maybe a one cut and go north and south. There's no dancing around in their run scheme here of get vertical as quickly as you can, pick up 4, maybe 5, and try to bust a long one, wear down the defense.
It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Thomas has not had a catch in the game. Shipley with 1, Norse with 4, Kirkley with 2, and the running back Gibson with 1. And Montana Western has to burn a timeout early. 10:35 left in the third quarter. The Bulldogs of Montana Western out on top of the lights of MSU-Northern, 14-0.
Third down, and it'll be interesting to see if the Bulldogs get, close to a first down if they go for it on fourth.
I was attracted to the biology program here at Western, mainly because of the block program. I like the Experience 1 program, first off because of the small class sizes. I'm able to get to know my classmates really well, and second off because of the professors, getting to know them. And it allows you to be more than just a student in the class. They care about you and they care about what you're doing. After attending Western, I plan to go to the University of Washington School of Medicine, the WAMI program, and practice rural medicine throughout Montana.
As the saying goes, it takes a village. But we think there's more to it than that. At First Interstate Bank, we've come to realize that sometimes all it takes is a single person. A smile, a handshake, a tip of the hat, and the knowledge that you can count on them to be by your side. That things are going to be done and done right. Being a part of our community, it's bigger than banking. It's you and I together.
It's going to be 3rd down and 6 for the Bulldogs. Their first opportunity here in the second half. Over the middle, in coverage, what a catch, Kirkley. Nice run after the catch to the 25-yard line. Feel there had to be 3 or 4 white jerseys in there, and how Palandri found him, I have no idea.
I thought it got picked off, honestly. I think the DB thought he had it too because he was continuing running on. That is literally, oh yeah, he went for the, number 8 there went for the hit instead of the interception, as you can see in the replay there. Went right by him, Smelzer, or he might have picked that off.
Great pass and catch for the Bulldogs. 1st down and 10 for the 27-yard line. Trying to go up by 3 scores here in the third quarter. Screen pass caught. Here comes Norse. Norse breaks a tackle to 15 to 10. Norse is in. He keeps the streak alive. He scored a touchdown in every game as a college player, and that's going to go 27 yards.
Well, Tanoka with a fabulous block here on the perimeter on that initial point of attack, and all Eli Norse has to do is beat one guy in the open field, and he's going to win that matchup almost every time. Smelzer with no chance on the perimeter. Again, when you sell out and bring that much pressure, the receivers have to beat one guy, and there's nobody else. And the athletes that the Bulldogs have on the edge are just too much for the light secondary.
Mears 31 of 31 on PATs. Snap back, hold is down, kick is up, and the officials stop play. So 3 touchdown passes for Palandri. And that's going to make it even more interesting for Mears. 5 yards further back. So Palandri, who got off to a slow start this afternoon, is now 9 of 19, 198 yards. But boy, when you got a quick receiver like Eli Norse, he is exciting to watch.
Do a good job of, get the ball quickly to your playmakers out on the edge, especially when they're facing man coverage like this, and let them make plays and be athletes out in the open field and get the yards after catch, the yak yards.
And not a great snap. Mears gets it off, and he missed it. Mears misses his first PAT of the year.
Life water. Taste. And feel. Whole body hydration. Life water.
There's a lot of tradition in farming. My son, he picked up everything. When my grandson was born, we both were chewing, thinking about what could happen, mouth cancer, throat cancer, or worse. Finally, we decided that's addiction, not tradition.
To protect my son, we quit. We did it together. Took us a few times, but we're stubborn.
We called the quit line, found what worked for us.
And we quit for good this time.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly sparkling water.
So Eli Norris has played in 8 college football games, and he has scored a touchdown in every single game. That is his 10th receiving touchdown that leads the Frontier Conference. And Eli Norris with 64 receiving yards, his 110-yard average is second best in the nation. And when head coach Ryan Norris recruited him out of his own household, well, he found a fairly good football player, Rose, on a nice return out near the 35-yard line. Did Eli really have a choice?
Well, I know Coach Norris thought he was going to go. He really thought he might go to the Grizzlies. He had a preferred walk-on opportunity there. I know it was between those two schools. I wouldn't suspect he really had a choice, but maybe a little bit. Obviously, he's found a home here and is off to a spectacular start of his Frontier career. There's no doubt about it. 10 touchdowns in the first, 7 games and change is unbelievable.
Well, I like his punt return capability as well. That's been awesome. And Dion with the carry for a gain of a couple, and the Lions struggling on the ground in this game. They're minus 33 yards rushing this afternoon.
Well, that's the first design run in I don't know how long for the Lights. I don't know if they even had a design run in the second quarter. They probably did, but it's how many carries now is that for Mason Dion? 4 or 5?
Mason Dion, that is his sixth carry.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers to the right side. Platt, 8 of 14. Dion gets the call again, and a short yard on that play for Dion.
There's just no room on the interior. There's no push by the light front 5 there against this Bulldog defensive line, and they've done a great job of swallowing up this run game and making the Lights have to be somewhat one-dimensional. You see there's just nowhere to go for Dion. Good job there, 92 Leal for the Bulldogs, stuffing Dion at the point of attack.
It's going to be 3rd down and 7, 3 pass catchers. Left side for the Lights. And Platt is going to get that one batted down, almost intercepted.
Briar Munson with almost the tip and pick 6 there. If he was able to find it after he tipped it, he couldn't see where it went. But once again, 3 and out for the Lights here. And you watch Munson again, good pressure, but good job getting his hand up there on the edge. And oh boy, you're right, he almost had it.
Eli Norris is back. He is a thrilling punt returner, and that's his first time this season. Today, returning punts.
I think he had one earlier in the year, but yeah, he's.
Uncheck.
I don't think he's done returning punts this season.
From the 20-yard line, Norris is going to cut left, out across the 30, the 35, and wisely steps out of bounds before he gets to the 40-yard line. The Bulldogs trying to win their 6th straight game, trying to improve to 7-1 on this season. They lead 20-0 here in quarter number 3.
Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan Association, the only operating savings and loan in Montana. Since 1912, we've been helping our neighbors fulfill their dreams. What's the difference between a bank and a savings and loan? They both offer mortgages, personal loans, car loans, and commercial loans. But a savings and loan is owned by our customers, so we are able to offer competitive interest rates on savings accounts, CDs, and money market accounts. And the biggest difference is we are 100% invested in our communities. Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience 1, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
Bulldogs with the lead. Bulldogs with the football, ranked 13th in the nation. They could have a perfect win-loss record if it wasn't for that Hail Mary in week 2. College of Idaho lost at the buzzer in that game. And pass is caught by Shipley. And they say, is he out of bounds or is that going to be a catch?
Out of bounds, it looked like. Waved it off. We won't be able to tell, I wouldn't think, on the replay there. I don't think we have freshly painted lines today.
Not exactly. Palandri over 250 yards in a game. He's had one 300-yard game. That was game number 1 against Eastern Oregon. He was 17 of 26 for 329 yards. Second down and 10. Screen pass caught. There's Norse, 35-40. Norse almost broke through. Third down coming up for the MSU Bulldogs and for the Montana Bulldogs. Here's what's happened. Game in and game out, the Northern defense is on the field almost the entire game.
The entire game.
And, you know, here we are in the third quarter, and they're going to get wore out.
I'd be curious to know how many 3-and-outs the Northern offense has had this season. Today, it's been almost every single drive. You got to credit this defense. They play their hearts out. I'll give them that. And Coach Norse talked about it. He said they play hard. Their defense does not give up.
And here comes Humphrey. Humphrey inside the 30, the 20, and that's going to be a touchdown run for Jack Humphrey. Wow. Humphrey into the end zone. That covers 56 yards.
Well, the Northern defense, they're just exhausted. You watch Klein here. Klein just gets placed here in the point of attack. If we see it on, hopefully we can see it on the replay here as Humphrey makes the cut. But there, you see Klein laying on his back there, just gets mowed over by the front 5. Just takes control in times like this. The defense just gets too worn out. The time of possession is just unbelievable how much the Bulldogs have had the ball compared to Northern here. Especially this whole third quarter has been Western on offense.
Mears made 31 extra points in a row. He missed his last one, and Mears makes this one, and now it's 27-0. The Bulldogs out on top here in Dillon.
Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan Association, the only operating savings and loan in Montana. Since 1912, we've been helping our neighbors fulfill their dreams. What's the difference between a bank and a savings and loan? They both offer mortgages, personal loans, car loans, and commercial loans. But a savings and loan is owned by our customers, so we are able to offer competitive interest rates on savings accounts, CDs, and money market accounts. And the biggest difference is we are 100% invested in our communities. Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience 1, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
Kickoff goes out of bounds, and the Lights will have excellent field position here at the 35-yard line.
That dang near hung on the edge there. Rose was just waiting for it to bounce out of bounds, and it darn near didn't. We have a couple Frontier scores. Carroll at Southern Oregon. Carroll's up 14-7 in the second quarter. Montana Tech and East Arizona Christian is 28-21 Montana Tech in that ball game.
Tech trying to bounce back after that loss at Rocky last weekend. Boy, big game next weekend. Montana Western at Carroll College, and both those teams will be nationally ranked. Dion caught from behind since MSU-Northern brought back football in 1999. Their first coach was Mark Sampson, and he was a coach for 12 years. They won 49 games. Sampson had them in the playoffs in 2006 when they went 10-3. They also snapped Carroll College's 29-game winning streak.
Yeah, Mark Sampkins did a great job there. Had his son Kyle Sampson, that quarterback there when they went to the playoffs, now the head coach at Montana Tech. And brother Mark Sampson was an All-American defensive back for Northern back in those days.
It's going to be second down and 11. Play fake. Here's it out deep. Pass is caught. What a throw by Platt. Nice catch by Wolstead. And the Lights are across midfield. It's going to be first down and 10 at the 25-yard line. MSU Northern trying to avoid a shutout.
Yeah, you see here on the replay, you're right, great throw there. And Bulldogs secondary, I think, just gets caught napping there on the backside. Number 8 for the Bulldogs. That's Romeo Simpson, gets beat on the far sideline, but good job there, Platt, getting it out in front.
Thomas in motion. They go on the ground, and Cannon Smith slips in the backfield, and it's going to be a loss of a couple.
Briar Munson in on the stop as well. Well, pretty much the whole defensive front in on the stop there for the Bulldogs. They have just completely handled this line of scrimmage here. I mean, Cannon, even if he doesn't slip, there's nowhere to go. You see in that replay. Briar Munson there, Reese Arch there as well.
Still negative yardage on the ground. Under 5 minutes left to be played in the third quarter. Play fake. And Platt flushed out of the pocket. Platt will be brought down. And
Tyler Walker again for the Bulldogs.
Boy, Walker's been on a lot of plays today.
Looks like he's not going to get a sack. It looked like Platt maybe gained a half a yard there. That would have been Walker's third sack. Who's been a reserve for most of the season. The Bulldogs have a lot of depth in that front four.
Third down and 13, definitely fourth down territory. The Lions trying to avoid a shutout. They got shut out by Rocky 45-0. The College of Idaho shut them out 59-0. It's going to be third down and long here. Platt flushed out. Platt will throw on the run. That's a free football, and it's batted down in the end zone, incomplete.
Yeah, jump ball there, looking for Devin Shelton, who's 6'5", so a good guy to throw the jump ball to is Shelton, but nice job by Prato of knocking it out of bounds there. Aiden Prato for the Bulldogs. freshman safety from Spokane.
It's going to be 4th down and 13 for the Lights. Their deepest penetration of this game as they try to avoid a shutout this afternoon.
We talk about how good the Bulldogs are. Their secondary, they have 3 freshmen and a sophomore playing right now in the secondary.
And Platt almost sacked on 4th down, and Montana Western's going to get the ball back on downs, and that Northern defense is getting tired, and there's been some big plays given up as the Bulldogs, with the big lead, 27-0, and Western did not score in the first quarter. They led 14-0 at the break, and they found the end zone twice. Palandri, a 27-yard touchdown pass to Norse, and then Jack Humphrey went 56 yards to the house on a score the last time the Bulldogs had the football. They're going to put 3 pass catches to the right side. On 1st down and 10, screen caught. Norse looking for some room to run, and Norse will gain about 7 yards on that reception. And is he getting close to his 110-yard average? He is.
Well, they're going to continue to run those type of plays as long as Northern keeps bringing pressure, 7-man pressure, because those Bulldog receivers, those other receivers are good blockers on the perimeter there.
It's going to be 2nd down and short. 7 catches, over 100 yards for Norse. Now 3 receivers up on top. They hand it off. And is that Gibson or Humphrey?
Getting harder to tell the numbers. That's Gibson there with the carry.
And that's going to be a 1st down for the Bulldogs.
Good run there by Pete Gibson. He was hitting the backfield there by Rose, but able to drag him forward enough to pick up the 1st down.
Palandri getting closer to his 2nd 300-yard passing game on the season. He's 13 of 25, 260 yards through the air, and 3 touchdowns on the game. Here comes Gibson off right tackle, the 40 to the 44-yard line, 5 more yards for the Bulldogs, and it's more difficult to run than pass in this mud. The Bulldogs came into the game averaging more than 200 yards a game on the ground.
Yeah, and I think we probably will see them get there, because we're going to see a lot of runs here in this last 17 and a half minutes of this ball game, and Northern is just out of gas on defense.
Humphrey with 84 yards on the ground. Gibson with 43. 2nd down and 4. And Gibson that's Humphrey rather, for a couple. Uniforms are getting a bit muddy, Phil.
You can see who's played and who hasn't, that's for sure, in this ball game. But yeah, with the rotating of the running backs and how long the defense has been out there, I just expect to see a couple big runs again for the Bulldogs here. They're going to bust one, I would assume, here again with the fresh legs.
It's going to be 3rd down and 2. Norse makes the catch. Norse can't get loose. Gets across the midfield to the 43-yard line. And Eli Norse over 100 yards receiving once again. And he's also kept that touchdown streak alive. 1st down and 10. Bulldogs from the 43-yard line.
Yeah, approaching a minute here to end this 3rd quarter, and certainly taking their time. There's the Western offense here.
Screen pass, Norse on the other side, hit behind the line. Norse is going down. He's going to lose some yardage.
Well, and that's getting chippy out there. That was a little bit of frustration. You can tell by the light defense here. They've been on the field, which is no different from probably every game this year. Been on the field most of the game.
30 seconds left to be played here in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be 2nd down and 13 for Montana Western. Palandri is going to roll right. Gets a nice block. Palandri to Eli Norse, makes the catch. Move the chains.
I don't know if we'll see it on the replay, but Thacker tried to jam Eli Norris, and Norris just threw him to the ground. If the replay can catch that, that would be. It was deeper into the secondary too, but unbelievable contact before the pass was thrown. You can see Thacker there on the ground in the replay. That was Eli Norris. He tried to jam Norris, and he just tossed him aside.
First down and 10. Here comes Humphrey on that long touchdown run. Not that long ago, gets inside the 25-yard line. On a first down carry, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. 27-0. The Bulldogs of Montana Western out on top here in Dillon.
Montana, a place of rugged beauty, hardworking people, and endless opportunities. And for over 100 years, Opportunity Bank has been here. As a Montana bank with a legacy of stability and service, we understand what it takes to build a future in this place you call home. So if you're looking for a bank that's as Montana as you are, come to Opportunity Bank of Montana. Of Montana, by Montanans, since 1922. Member FDIC.
I was attracted to the biology program here at Western mainly because of the block program. I like the Experience One program first off because of the small class sizes. I'm able to get to know my classmates really well, and second off because of the professors, getting to know them. And it allows you to be more than just a student in the class. They care about you and they care about what you're doing. After attending Western, I plan to go to the University of Washington School of Medicine, the WWAMI program, and practice rural medicine throughout Montana.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
405 yards in total offense for the Montana Western Bulldogs. They come in averaging 460, which is best in the Frontier Conference. It's fourth best in all of NAIA football. And they're knocking on the door again. Do we have a new quarterback?
Yeah, it looks
we
like
do.
Philandri's days are done. Or
Jenks is in. And Caden completes his first pass, and that's going to go for a touchdown. How about that?
I don't see who it was on the far sideline. Is that number 80?
82.
82, Tanoka, the kickoff returner, and he's an electrifying player on the edge as well. Cody Tanoka, freshman from Hawaii. Castle High School, one of the premier programs over there in Hawaii, produced a lot of good college football players. And Tanoka, true freshman, not even a redshirt freshman. So, again, the freshmen it's unbelievable the amount of freshmen the Bulldogs are playing, and they're about to move 7-1 here on the season.
And the extra point is up, and it's in. And it's 34-0. Bulldogs out on top here.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
You work hard for your money and need access to it 24/7, 365, wherever you are. Stockman Bank's online and mobile banking lets you live every single moment of your day with confidence to stay in touch with your money. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
Well, how about backup quarterback Caden Jenks, 6'3", 225-pound senior out of Washington, comes in for Palandri, who had a big game, 296 yards, and Caden completes his first pass, and it goes for a touchdown. That's what backups do, Phil.
Well, he's more than a backup. Caden Jenks has an interesting story. He's about, I don't know how old he is. He's back in 2018, I believe, when Weber State won the Big Sky Conference. Their starting quarterback, Caden Jenks.
Wow.
He's been injured multiple times and throughout his career. As you can see, he's a big man. He's 6'3", 240, but he's got a really strong arm. And he's been a great veteran presence for this Bulldog team in guiding Palandri, but he's just so injured it's hard for him to compete at the level he once was. But he was a Weber State Wildcat when they won the Big Sky. Yeah, he's I think it was 2018, and then got injured and was out of school for a couple years during the COVID time.
Platt takes a snap, rolls left, and Platt tries to underhand the toss, and that goes incomplete.
Well, with the rules of getting outside the pocket and no intentional grounding, that's a wise thing, but the ball has to get back to the line of scrimmage, and I guess it did, barely. So it avoids the intentional grounding there for Platt. But again, pressure immediately. That time, Briar Munson in again for the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs with 53 yards of offense in a game. They average 123. Second down and 10. Platt airs it out quickly. Pass is caught by White. So you got 4 Frontier Conference teams ranked to the top 25. College of Idaho 8, Carroll 11, Montana Western 13, Tech 23. 20 teams go to the postseason. We know we're going to get the conference champion in. We know we're going to get at least one more. It'd be great to get 3, and possibly maybe somebody will host a first-round game.
Boy, I would think so. I would think the Frontier, there's so many stipulations on how you can host or whatever. The Frontier champ, I would assume, is going to get a bye now that they added the 4 teams, and there's a few teams get a bye that first day or first weekend. But yeah, anyway, I think Montana Tech's out. I don't think they're getting in it with 3 losses. I just don't see that happening. But the other 3 are still alive for sure, and I can't imagine at least 2 of them aren't going, depending on how that plays out down the stretch. Obviously, Carroll or Western will have, one of them will have 2 losses no matter what, because they play next weekend. But Carroll's got a tough schedule. They are at Southern Oregon today. They're in a dogfight down. They're up 14-7. Then they have Western. Then they have Tech.
That's not easy.
That's not an easy.
They beat Tech the opening weekend, but that was a non-conference game. Norse from the 40. Norse has room midfield. Norse at 35. Norse one man to beat. The punter, he's gone. Touchdown. Eli Norse takes it to the house on the punt return. His second touchdown of the game.
Well, that would be his second punt return touchdown of the game if that last one wouldn't have got called back. But wow, did he hit that hole. You'll see on the replay here, there was no wasted motion here from Eli Norse. Straight ahead, one cut, and certainly the punter isn't going to make that play in the open field against the cat-quick Eli Norse. And great job of blocking there in that special teams play from the Bulldog punt return squad. But I think Western maybe found a punt returner there in Eli Norse.
He's got 9 receptions, 131 yards and a touchdown, and now a punt return for a touchdown. Mears on the PAT, and that is good. 41-0. Our score. Bulldogs are out on top here.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus. Make no monthly payments for 90 days. Or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Fourth down, seconds on the clock. He hands it off, finds a hole in the middle. Clear, nothing but incredible. A touchdown for the win. I can't believe it.
Pizza, better with Pepsi.
Our kids love to play. Whether they're playing outside or playing house or playing dress up, there's one game they're playing all the time. They love to imitate you. You're setting an example. Make sure it's one you can live with, and one she can live a long, healthy life with, too.
So many flavors of dew. I am thirsty. I must get the dew.
Cut! He's hypnotized again!
Do the dew.
Well, head coach Ryan Norris recruited well out of his own household, and Eli Norris was a huge pickup, and he is a big-time player. No question at all about that. MSU-Northern on the return, slipping and sliding, and the good news, the Lights defense does not have to come back out as the Lights offense is back out after that spectacular punt return for Eli Norris. 13:35 left to be played here in Dillon. 41-0 our score, and the most points scored by the Bulldogs this year. They put up 49 in week 3 against Lewis and Clark College of Oregon. They won 49-13 in that game. True freshman Ashton Platt out of Great Falls High. Dion with the carry, and Dion immediately hit that defense. He's in the backfield about the same time that Dion gets the handoff.
Yeah, they're just nowhere to go for the running backs here. The front four of Western has just dominated this game. A host, I mean, there's 4 guys on the tackle there. 94, Ames back 45, Howerton, just all meeting at the running back in the backfield.
Second down and 12. The Lights trying to get a touchdown here and avoid the shutout. Platt will air it out, incomplete. Jeremiah Benson, the intended receiver, he slipped before the ball got to him, and all of a sudden it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Lights.
Yeah, Benson slipped, and you can see Platt had to double pump that thing, and then it threw the timing off and then just soared it over his head. Probably wisely, or that might have been going the other direction.
Well, how nice is that turf going to be next year?
Yeah, right now they wish they were on it. It's turned into an ice skating rink. They're slipping everywhere.
3rd down and a dozen. Platt 10 of 22 for 91 yards. Pump fake, pass complete. On the screen, not quite enough for a 1st down, about 3 yards short, but a nice pickup for the Lights. And that was Benson making the catch.
Cameron Rouser stopping just short of the 1st down there. Good job of pursuit from the senior from Townsend, Montana.
And we got a new return guy coming in. Newborough?
Rafe Newborough, CMR product, sophomore.
Newborough said, hey, if Eli can bring one back, so can I. Hunchak. That came not his best effort, but it's going to be returned. Newborough. It's out near midfield, and let's see who, well, the quarterback has already been changed for Montana Western. We're going to take a break. Bulldogs up 41-0.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
As the saying goes, it takes a village. But we think there's more to it than that. At First Interstate Bank, we've come to realize that sometimes all it takes is a single person. A smile, a handshake, a tip of the hat, and the knowledge that you can count on them to be by your side. That things are going to be done and done right. Being a part of our community, it's bigger than banking. It's you and I together.
I teach a large variety of classes. I think that you learn more by doing things with your hands.
I grew up on a family farm in Helena, Montana. I chose to come to Montana Western because of block schedule, where you have one class for 18 days, and that just fit me perfect.
We're mostly rotational grazing. I didn't really think much about intensive grazing, but I learned a lot about intensive grazing, how that produces more weight on your cattle.
Through the Farm and Ranch minor, they can go back to their family operations and have different ways of thinking.
Caden Jenks, who was 1 for 1 with a touchdown, is the backup quarterback in now. Peyton Hoyt on the carry. And there is a lot of new players out there now.
Yeah, we're going to have to scan the programs here. Peyton Hoyt, the freshman, redshirt freshman from Tumwater, Washington. Number 23 and now at running back, and we don't have one on the program for the Bulldogs, at least on mine. Bradley Elliton, yeah, that is who that is. He mentioned that name before the game.
It's going to be second down and a dozen. Loss of 2. And they come on the blitz again, and no gain at all. Loss of about a yard on the play. Bradley Elliton on the carry for Montana Western. So the starters get a rest, and they got a huge game coming up next week as they'll take on nationally ranked Carroll College in Helena. And it's that's going to be a huge crowd, Phil. Wow.
Yeah, that I would think Nelson Stadium is going to be at capacity next Saturday. Obviously huge rivals, but they're both, so far it looks like Carroll is winning in Southern Oregon. They're both going to be 7-1.
And we're going to be there for that game next week. Screen pass is caught for the Bulldogs, and Hoyt came out of the backfield to make the catch, and then a late flag.
Well, that was a great touch pass there by Jenks, lofting it over the outstretched fingers of Brandon Klein. And we mentioned Jenks is no ordinary backup. He's got experience, and he can throw the football. No doubt about it.
A lot of time left in this game. 10:08 left to be played.
Personal foul on the Bulldogs. I think it's going to be after the play, so it will be a first down. Watch this touch pass here in the replay from Jenks over the top of the outstretched arms of Klein, right into the waiting arms of Peyton Hoyt.
Men's basketball top 25 was released. Montana Tech 6. That's their highest ranking in school history. And congratulations to them. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Out on top, 41-0. And they keep it on the ground. Hoyt with another run up the middle.
Yeah, nice pickup there on first down. A good hole there, and Hoyt again going north and south. We talked about Bulldog running backs are really good at one cut and getting vertical. Picked up 5 yards there on first down.
3 Frontier Conference teams are ranked in the top 25 in the women's poll. Carroll 6th, Rocky Mountain College 15th, and Providence comes in number 24. Carroll was 26-7 a year ago. They return All-Nation Jamie Pickens.
They got beat last night. Carroll women did.
They got a game coming up next Saturday night. They will host the Montana State women at the Pease Center.
Oh, that'd be a good game.
I'm going to stick around after I broadcast the Carroll Montana Western game and try to talk Marty into broadcasting the Carroll College MSU women's game. The PE Center is going to be packed. The football game will be packed, and that's going to be a big day on the campus of Carroll College next week. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs as they try to win their 6th straight, try to improve to 7-1 overall and 5-1 in the conference, stay tied for first place in the Frontier. Jinx, boy, what an arm. And that's going to be another first down. Dylan Wampler on the tackle, one of my favorite players and the very best defensive player on that team. And Newborough makes the catch.
Yeah, you can see the ball just flies out of the hand of Caden Jinks there. Effortless throw. Good job sitting in that zone defense there by Newborough.
Well, Jinks is he's perfect on the day. 2 for 2, 53 yards and a touchdown. 3 wide receivers left side. First down and 10. The line of scrimmage, the 23-yard line for the Bulldogs, and Hoyt with the carry. He goes for about 5 yards. So Montana Western at Carroll next week, home against Eastern Oregon. And, you know, I'm pretty sure you're going to get in with 2 losses, probably not 3 losses. The College of Idaho, they're home against Eastern Oregon today. They're at Southern Oregon. And the toughest schedule, well, that's Carroll, as they host Western and they'll host Tech to wrap up the regular season.
Yeah, and at Southern Oregon today for that Carroll. Last we looked, it was 14-7, so in a dogfight out in Ashland.
2nd down and 6. Caden hands it off to Bradley Ellington on the carry. Well, it's great that they expanded the playoffs to 20 teams this season. And we know we're going to get the Frontier Conference champion in, and they say, you know, the top 15 after the conference champs. And well, we got 3 Frontier Conference teams in the top 15 right now, but there's going to be some losses there because they play against each other.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Carroll's up 14-10 at halftime. It's interesting to see, you know, assuming College of Idaho holds suit and finishes out with 1 loss. They've beaten Carroll and Western. Western and Carroll, obviously one of them is going to have 2 losses for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that 3rd team potentially if they have a chance to get in. Carroll could certainly, you know, win today, and if they beat Montana Western, Tech could certainly come in and knock Carroll off and give them a 2nd loss. I don't think if Western were to lose to Carroll, I don't think they're going to lose to Eastern Oregon here at home, but you never know. It's it's hard to even say what could possibly happen in this wild and crazy Frontier.
Mears on for a field goal attempt of 33 yards. He missed from 42 in the first half. And Mears 8 of 10 on the year. Boy, what a leg. And that kick is up. That kick is good from 33. And the Bulldogs up 44-0.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus. Make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
There's a lot of tradition in farming. My son, he picked up everything. When my grandson was born, we both were chewing, thinking about what could happen, mouth cancer, throat cancer, or worse. Finally, we decided that's addiction, not tradition.
To protect my son, we quit. We did it together. Took us a few times, but we're stubborn.
We called the quit line, found what worked for us.
And we quit for good this time.
with the win, the Bulldogs are going to go 22-3 at home. Ryan Norris in his 10th season as a head coach. The last 4 years, 28 wins, 11 losses. Phil, I put you on the spot before our last broadcast. Is this the best Western team you've seen the last few years?
Boy, last few, I would say. Yeah, I don't know. They've had the year they made the playoffs in 21. That was a pretty good team. They were a veteran team that year with Nate Simpkins and John Jund at the trigger. For as young, I'm pretty surprised how good this team is for as young as they are in the skill positions, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, secondary. They are very, very good up front on both sides. There's no doubt about that. Their offensive line and their defensive line might be as strong as I've seen in a long time here. They're built for the long haul for sure. Coach Norris talks about the guys that are redshirting right now. He said, we have so many freshmen right now that are really, really good. He goes, I'm very excited for the future of this team.
Trahan Proctor is in at running back on his second carry. And a lot of clean jerseys on the defensive side for Montana Western. What a big game next week. It'll be a SWX game of the week. We'll be there to cover that one as two nationally ranked teams battle at Nelson Stadium in front of a packed house. That will be an exciting game. I've got the West Helena Capital quarterfinal game the night before at Vigilante Stadium in Helena, and Capital, of course, the defending AA state champions. And that's a missed snap. Platt back in the end zone. Platt gets rid of it. Incomplete. You know what you could have this year? You could have a Bozeman-Gallatin, all Bozeman state AA championship.
Yeah, it's lined up for that, I think, right? Like
it is. They're on the south.
Yeah.
They're on different brackets.
Yeah, Gallatin will have to go through, theoretically, they'll have to go through Glacier, right? Will be the one
That's
seed.
going to be the toughest.
Yeah, yep, on that side. And boy, it was a good battle, Bozeman and Gallatin earlier in the year. Bozeman looks really, really good. They've pretty much handled everyone they've played. I mean, Gallatin was a good game, and Butte played with them for a little while. Bozeman will host Butte High next weekend, right? I think Butte High goes to Bozeman. Gallatin gets who? Helena High, right?
That'll be a good game as well. Hunchak, boy, what a great punter. Newborough on the return out across midfield. Now, the last time two high schools from the same city met in the AA championship, it was 20 years ago in 2003 when Billings Senior and Billings Skyview met in the title game. The first time it ever happened was in 1965 when Great Falls High won the state championship. Who did they play? Not CMR. Great Falls Central in 1965.
Cameron Kitchens in at quarterback for the Bulldogs, freshman from Richland, Washington.
Their third quarterback, and Ketchum will hand it off, and
another new running back, number 46, I believe, Hayden Hedges from Cutbank. Hedges, yep, on the carry. They're going to test us here down the stretch of.
Who'd you say the quarterback was?
Cameron Kitchens, freshman from Richland, Washington, number 13. Coach Norris is really high on this young man. Sounds like he's very athletic. He doesn't look very big. I mean, he's 6'2", but he must be a runner.
And Kitchen's job is just to hand the ball off, and almost a first down. And boy, you got to give a lot of credit to that MSU-Northern defense, their offense. They didn't quit. I mean, they played hard this entire game, and they shut out the Bulldogs in the first quarter.
Yeah, just wore down. That's too much to ask of a defense to play that many snaps and not get wore down, which is, I'm assuming, has happened to them almost every game this year based on the numbers. the statistics that are posted out there from the season, they've certainly played a lot of snaps on the defensive side.
Bulldogs trying to run out the clock. Hedges will get the first down and then some. Hedges had one man to beat, and he gets inside the 25-yard line. And well, the Bulldogs, are they going to get their average of 202 yards rushing a game? They got off to a very slow start, and well, they're at 160 right now. 296 yards for Palandri before he was taken out. 16 of 28, 296 and 3 touchdowns. Caden Jenks was 3 for 3, 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. His quarterback rating will definitely improve when you go 3 for 3 and a touchdown. Hoyt is back in at running back for a yard or two. And for the Lights of MSU-Northern, let's see what their schedule has left. They're going to have Tech at home, and they're going to play at Rocky Mountain College to wrap up this 2023 college football season. A minute left in this one. The Bulldogs out on top big, 44-0. And the Bulldogs will win their 6th straight. They'll go to 7-1. Overall, they'll go to 5-1 in the conference, and they did not overlook Northern, thinking a week ahead to that huge game against Carroll College.
Yeah, they, like you said, they got off to a bit of a slow start, but found their footing, no pun intended, but able to take care of business here and do what they were supposed to do. And Coach Norris just letting the play clock run out. There's 15 seconds on the game clock, but they're not going to make another snap.
And that'll do it. The Bulldogs win their 6th straight. They go to 7-1 on the year. They're 5-1 in the Frontier. And the Bulldogs post a shutout, 44-0 over the Lights of MSU-Northern.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan Association, the only operating savings and loan in Montana. Since 1912, we've been helping our neighbors fulfill their dreams. What's the difference between a bank and a savings and loan? They both offer mortgages, personal loans, car loans, and commercial loans. But a savings and loan is owned by our customers, so we are able to offer competitive interest rates on savings accounts, CDs, and money market accounts. And the biggest difference is we are 100% invested in our communities. Pioneer Federal Savings and Loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Phil, the Bulldogs did not score in that first quarter. It was 14-0 at halftime, and things quickly changed in the second half.
Yeah, the Northern defense just wore out in that second half. Their offense just can't get into any rhythm to keep the defense off the field. Credit the Bulldog defense for being a part of that as well, that just dominated up front. But second half was much cleaner for the Bulldogs, and I'm sure Coach Norris was more pleased with the third and the early part of the fourth quarter than certainly was in that first half. It took Michael Palandri a little bit of time to get going in the first half. He missed, I think he started out 4 for 11 or 4 for 12 and was off target a bit in the first half, missed some guys. And, Northern was sending 6-7 guys every play, blitzing. And it took a little bit to get, those quick hitters. And, once you break the the secondary on that cover zero, man-to-man across the board, your big plays are going to happen. It started with Kirkley's first touchdown, and the long pass to Shipley for the touchdown. Norris had a long one. Broke a long touchdown run from Humphrey. Once you break that first level in that type of a pressuring defense, there's just nobody back there. And the defense wore out Northern. They played tremendous. Their defense played hard, played fast, played physical.
And never gave up.
But never give up, absolutely. You got to credit them for that. I have a lot of respect for that because it's been a long year for them, and they've played a lot of snaps, that defense, but they fought until the very end, so much respect to them for that.
529 yards in offense for the Bulldogs. They put up 44 points. Let's go to the replay and our player of the game. Well, it has to be Eli Norris, number 7, the coach's son, and the wide receiver. This is the play of the game, the punt return for Eli Norris. He had a receiving touchdown, and this a long punt return touchdown that covered 70 yards. Had to make his dad smile as Eli Norris takes it home. That is our play of the game, a 70-yard punt return for Eli Norris. And now our player of the game, Eli Norris, with 9 receptions for 131 yards and a touchdown. He keeps the streak alive. He has scored a touchdown in every game this season. I mean, he has been fantastic. And this is, he's a true freshman.
Yeah, obviously you couldn't have gotten off to a better start in his career. Touchdowns in every game, 2 today. The punt return. Actually had 2 punt returns for touchdowns, but
one called
back. You see that there, making a spectacular catch on that deep pass up down the middle. He came into the game with 59 receptions on the season, and he had 9 today, so now he has 68, 10 touchdowns already. Here's the punt return that gets called back, and look at how many tackles he breaks here on this one, and he's just so dangerous in the open field and just has a nose for the end zone, no doubt, and certainly has the speed to finish off the plays. He's a complete football player, certainly. You can look at his concentration on that punt return. He is focused on nothing but the ball. So, and hitting that hole just straight ahead, takes a big lick there, but just an all-around complete player. Can't say enough about him. Breaking tackles there on the perimeter, and credit those receivers on the edge. They do a good job blocking for him on those screens too.
Eli Norris, a true freshman out of Dillon, our player of the game, a receiving touchdown and a punt return. Brought back for a touchdown as well. We'll take a final break, come back, and wrap things up here in Dillon.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Montana, a place of rugged beauty, hardworking people, and endless opportunities. And for over 100 years, Opportunity Bank has been here. As a Montana bank with a legacy of stability and service, we understand what it takes to build a future in this place you call home. So if you're looking for a bank that's as Montana as you are, come to Opportunity Bank of Montana. Of Montana, by Montanans since 1922. Member FDIC.
What does our world need? Our world needs skilled technicians to give us power, farmers to bring in the harvest, nurses to provide care, teachers to give us hope, and you to give us a future. Prepare to give the world what it needs at MSU-Northern.
Well, the Bulldogs continue to be one of the hottest teams in the Frontier, one of the very best teams in the Frontier. They stay in first place in the conference standings, 5-1. They're 7-1 on the year. They win their 6th straight, and let's go back You know, that second week of the season when they lost to the College of Idaho on the Hail Mary, the final play of the game, they could easily be undefeated.
Oh, absolutely. They're, you know, and I went up to Montana Tech when they played there, and I wasn't sure if they were for real. I thought Montana Tech was for real. I came away from that game and surprised how Montana Western absolutely dominated Montana Tech on the line of scrimmage on both sides. Montana Tech has fabulous athletes on both sides of the ball on the perimeter and at quarterback. Blake Thielen's a great quarterback, but Montana Western just dominated them up front on offense and defense. And after that game, I was like, they are pretty good. Like, up front, they're better than people give them credit for. And these young skill kids, Eli Norris, the Michael Palandria, first year as a quarterback, starting as a sophomore, the other freshman receivers, the freshman DBs, they're just getting better and better every game. And the consistency's been in the defensive line and the offensive line doing a good job. You don't run for over 200 yards a game by accident. I mean, they have good running backs, but your front five has to be good. And doing it with 3 different running backs and the quarterback is a good runner as well, that's a recipe for success. And that's going to be, Carroll College has got a good defense. Carroll's pretty limited on offense. I don't know. That's going to be a heck of a ball game in Helena next Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. That's going to be a hard hitting. Obviously, they're rivals. They don't like each other much. You know, Troy Purcell's a great coach at Carroll. Obviously, Ryan Norris is a really, really good coach here. And that's a playoff game. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. It's going to be packed at Nelson. You mentioned it. Nelson Stadium's going to be full.
It won't just be the SWX game of the week. That is going to be the NAIA National Game of the Week. That will be the biggest game in NAIA college football next Saturday. For Phil Willett, Rocky Erickson from Dillon, the final score, the Bulldogs win it over the Knights 44-0.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
You work hard for your money and need access to it 24/7, 365, wherever you are. Stockman Bank's online and mobile banking lets you live every single moment of your day with confidence to stay in touch with your money. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
At Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience 1, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.